An outbreak of severe thunderstorms is possible across the next 48 hours, as the Storm Prediction Center has put out an enhanced risk of severe weather on Day 2, which is driven by a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes, and a Day 3 slight risk. All of that and more is coming right up. Alright, here we are. Here's our Day 2 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. As you can see across the Texarkana region, we have a large enhanced risk, and right around it we have that slight risk. And the enhanced risk includes Shreveport, Little Rock, Tyler, Longview. You guys are all included in this. And slight risk does include Houston, Memphis, Garland, Pasadena, and Mesquite. And then another marginal risk around it. And this is going to be driven by a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes. So we have a 10% chance of seeing a tornado, but not only a tornado, a strong tornado within 25 miles of a given point within that region. And we also have a 30% chance of seeing damaging thunderstorm winds. Now, this is not a significant risk, but there's a 30% chance, which is a driving factor towards that enhanced risk. Now, we have a 15% chance of hail, which is not our main threat, but it is still there. We could see some large hail, but obviously we're more concerned about the tornadoes and the wind, primarily the tornadoes. So, as you're about to see on the models, we're going to have 2 rounds of storms. Actually, I'll show you that now. So, this is the HRRR. And we are focused around the Texarkana region. So, this is around 12 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and or just Central Time. And you're going to see around 12 to 1 o'clock, we're going to start to get storms firing, and they will quickly go from supercells to a developed line, and you'll see that will move east, bringing primarily a damaging wind threat. Now, as you can see here, we have a second round of storms. And these storms are likely going to be the ones that are going to produce the tornadoes. Likely these in, Arkansas and Oklahoma. Those are likely the more likely ones to produce tornadoes. As later on as we go in the night, we get more parameters in place for tornadoes. And after that, after we get those will quickly form into a line across maybe central to eastern Arkansas, and we'll continue with the damaging wind threat. However, we can still see the isolated threat for tornadoes, as we can have a QLCS tornado, or a quasi-linear convective system tornado, basically just a line, and a tornado embedded in the line. So we do need to be on the lookout for that as this enters Mississippi and eventually into Alabama, which the Day 3 outlook is right here. This is a slight risk, and this does include Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, Jackson, and Huntsville, so pretty highly populated area, and a marginal risk around it. Probabilistic is 15%, obviously, because that is a slight risk, and as you can see in this wording, damaging winds and a few tornadoes. Those are our main concerns, but hail is not our main concern in this case. This would also be tornadoes and damaging winds, as that line would move into those areas. So, what does this mean for you guys? This means that tomorrow you need to be weather aware, as we, again, anytime you're under a risk like this, you need to be weather aware. You need to have a safety plan in case you go under a warning. And if you're under a warning, you need to head to that safety plan, or execute the safety plan, and head to your safe place. A good tornado shelter is a strong, sturdy shelter that's not a mobile home. If you're in a mobile home, you need to leave and go to your closest sturdy shelter. Get to the lowest floor, away from windows. Cover yourself with pillows and blankets and a helmet. And grab shoes, and have a safety kit as well, which includes stuff like band-aids, food, water, flashlight, and an air horn in case the first responders cannot see you. So you blow the air horn so they can hear you if that need to be executed. But you need to have shoes, so in case you're walking out of debris, you don't get splinters or anything in your feet that can be dangerous. But you need to have a safety plan in place for tomorrow, because we could see a couple strong tornadoes, especially with that 10% hatched risk in place. So please be weather aware, and let's head over to the models. There's a couple things I want to point out about tomorrow's system, and more specifically the parameters that come with it. First is the dew points, okay? So we come over here, and this is going to be 6 p.m. tonight. And then we just continue into the future, and the Gulf just keeps feeding moisture into the Louisiana and Arkansas area. And by 12 o'clock Central tomorrow, we have dew points already in the high 60s, some even in the 70s. So very, very moist atmosphere. Another thing I want to point out is the Cape. And as you can see here, the Cape dramatically increases as we go on with time. And this is, I believe, around 3 o'clock tomorrow. And you can see we have plenty of Cape. We have 2,000 joules per kilogram in some areas, some higher. Like here we have 2,200, and roughly in that area. In Arkansas, we have up to 1,500 joules per kilogram of Cape. Now, the main question for tomorrow is whether the supercells will have enough Cape to feed off of, and if the environment can, not just the Cape, but the entire environment can recover from the first line of storms in time for those supercells to develop and produce tornadoes. That is still a big uncertainty that we have. So we'll just have to watch out for tomorrow and see what's going to happen, what the exact setup is going to be, but we do have a lot of Cape, at least for that first round of storms. Now, here's the other thing, photographs. So this shows just winds in the atmosphere, what direction they're blowing, and how fast they're blowing. Well, just the direction that they're blowing. And you can see here we have very curved photographs. Here we go. So let me back it up a little bit. Yeah, we have some pretty curved photographs here, and I'll show you a sounding in one moment. But we can see already by 3 o'clock here along the Texarkana area, we have a big curved photograph. In fact, this is one of the most I've seen, including here. This entire region has a lot of curved photographs, and as you can see in the sounding, you can see the very curved photograph. And then also over here, you can see that we have a small cap over here. And once that cap is bypassed or breached, basically, we have an area of steep lapse rates. This is basically just a very steep lapse rates means that temperature increases or decreases. Temperature decreases in temperature by height. So basically, temperature decreases by height, which can help destabilize the atmosphere, creating a volatile area for storms, which we have right here. So, again, this is just more stuff that you guys can see that show tomorrow's setup can be potent. But there's still a lot of uncertainty. We still have a lot of uncertainty whether the atmosphere in this area, more specifically the Texarkana region, will be able to recover after the first round of storms in time for the second round of storms. If it can, then we will have a big problem on our hands. However, hopefully it won't be able to, and hopefully the first round of storms will be mainly damaging winds, and the second will hopefully not be able to survive that long. But we can hope, and we'll see what the models say tomorrow. And I will be streaming tomorrow, and if need be, I will be streaming on Tuesday for that severe weather threat in Alabama and Mississippi. And yeah, please make a safety plan if you haven't already. And if need be tomorrow, please execute it. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow during the stream.